This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple gets its F1 deal, the iPhone 17 line's looking strong, and Apple TV's teasing Palm Royale. It is Monday, the 20th of October, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Should we consider Apple winning the U.S. broadcast rights to Formula One racing, the company getting the checkered flag, or the green light? Whichever it is, Apple's got them. The Cupertino company issued a press release Friday announcing a 5-year partnership that will bring all F1 races exclusively to Apple TV in the U.S. beginning next year. It won't be limited to race day, and it sounds like it will be included with an Apple TV subscription, what we used to call Apple TV Plus. According to the release, Apple TV will deliver comprehensive coverage of Formula One with all practice, qualifying, sprint sessions, and Grand Prix available to Apple TV subscribers. Select races and all practice sessions will also be available for free in the Apple TV app throughout the course of the season. Not surprisingly, it'll also be folded into every Apple service you can think of. In line with the TV stuff, Apple says it'll amplify F1, the races, across Apple News, Apple Maps, Apple Music, Apple Fitness Plus, and of course, the Apple Sports app. If you're a fan of what's out there already, no need to worry. It'll also be included. Apple says F1 TV Premium, F1's own premier content offering, will continue to be available in the U.S. via an Apple TV subscription only and will be free for those who subscribe. Really shouldn't say free then, should they? Should say included, since you're paying. Apple says additional info will be announced in the coming months. Hang on a second. People have to pay extra for soccer, but they get F1 included? Actually, it kind of looks like that might change. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece on Sunday saying all of the Major League Soccer playoff matches this year will be watchable with an Apple TV subscription, meaning fans don't need the add-on MLS Season Pass subscription to tune in. In the wake of the F1 deal, there was already talk that Apple might fold MLS into the included Apple TV subscription offerings. The way 9 to 5 Mac puts it, giving Apple TV subscribers access to all playoff games outside of Season Pass adds fuel to the fire of that speculation. Now, it's not like Apple to walk away from money. The company charges $99 per year for most access to MLS matches. That said, those include ads. The thinking is more people would watch if MLS was included in a regular Apple TV subscription. Theoretically, Apple could make up that missed revenue with higher advertising sales on the broadcasts. If that's going to happen, it's the kind of thing that might be announced in the coming months as well. In the meantime, Apple TV subscribers have access to this season's playoff matches. Those begin this Wednesday. How well are sales going for iPhone 17? Two notable notes say pretty freaking well. We'll start with Seeking Alpha, which highlights a report from the Financial Times that pub's got supply chain checks and carrier data that show the redesigned iPhone 17 driving Apple's fastest smartphone growth since COVID-19. Wait times this far into release are said to be longer than the past few years, a sign of strong demand according to the report. Seeking Alpha says upgrades to the camera, display, and battery are persuading customers to replace older models. Of course, it seems likely that a prevalence of older models and lengthening replacement cycles might have something to do with it as well. Analysts expect iPhone revenue to rise about 4% in Apple's fiscal year 2025 to roughly $209 billion, according to the piece, and nearly 5% in 2026. We'll find out about fiscal year 25 numbers in just under 2 weeks' time. Apple reports numbers for the fourth quarter and the full fiscal year on Thursday, the 30th of October. Now, I said there were 2 notable notes on iPhone 17 sales. Yeah, that might be overselling the second one. Apple Insider has a piece from the South Korean publication The Elec saying Apple has upped orders for the iPhone 17 line. They've got Japan's Mizuho Securities saying Apple's increased orders for the iPhone 17 by 2 million units, iPhone 17 Pro by 1 million, and iPhone 17 Pro Max by 4 million units. Of course, every silver lining has a cloud. Pointing to that, Mizuho says Apple has cut iPhone Air orders by 1 million units. For its part, Apple Insider wants to put a big asterisk on all of this. There is no citing of supply chain sources, according to the report. Even assuming they have them, though, Apple Insider says they won't have many of them. Since Apple can and does move orders around, it's not possible to be certain of the situation. With iPhone strength plus services in mind, Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani is giving Apple shares some special attention. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote over the weekend wherein the analyst put ticker symbol AAPL on Evercore's tactical outperform list. Daryanani says his team's positive bias is driven by a buying cycle that seems to be more than the average iPhone refresh cycle. He and his say lead times for the entry-level iPhone this year are longer than they were this time last year. People planning to buy an iPhone are also up in recent survey work. Then we get to services. So far, those have not been hurt by sideloading and regulatory issues. That'll likely lead to continued double-digit services growth in AdRock's estimation. On top of all of that, Team Evercore thinks both Apple's September quarter numbers and December quarter guidance will beat the street's expectations. Net reads the note, we think Apple is well positioned to report upside to September quarter expectations later this month. Stronger iPhone demand and a clearer line of sight to double-digit services growth present an attractive setup into the print. Mr. Daryanani has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $290. I'm having to question some of my assumptions. Don't worry, that happens all the time, and besides, this one's pretty trivial. Based on the announcement that the Apple Vision Pro app is headed to iPad with iPadOS 26.1 and the fact that there's an updated Vision Pro coming out this week, I had decided that the whole raft of blank OS 26.1 updates would also be out this week. Now, a piece from Mac Rumors has me doubting that belief. The site says its visitor logs show Apple's software engineers testing iOS 26.0.2. They figure that will be a minor update that addresses bugs and/or security vulnerabilities. Mac Rumors is expecting that to drop by the end of this week, which probably shoots a hole in my 26.1 thinking. Now we wait. If you use the Facebook Messenger app, I get it. I got this one friend who simply will not move off it for some reason. We don't talk a lot these days because he won't get off the Facebook Messenger app. But I digress. If you use the Messenger app for Mac or Windows, not for long. Apple Insider ran a piece last week that had the Zuck nuts at Meta saying that they're ending support for those apps at some point. According to the piece, Meta hasn't said exactly when deprecation will start, but says that users will get an in-app notification once the process begins. From then, they'll have 60 days to use the app before it is fully deprecated. Once the app is dead, Apple Insider says users will be automatically redirected to Facebook.com when attempting to access the application. If they don't have a Facebook account, the piece says they'll get rerouted to messenger.com, which I seriously did not know was a thing. The report says the application has already been pulled from the Mac App Store. The Messenger apps for iOS and Android are expected to keep on keeping on. And finally today, if you were a fan of the Kristen Wiig-led Apple TV comedy Palm Royale, get ready to be happy. The show, which also starred Laura Dern, Allison Janney, Ricky Martin, Carol Burnett, and a host of others, is on its way back, and soon. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release late last week teasing the show's return and dropping a trailer for it. If you watched the first season, the second one picks up where the first one left off. If you didn't watch the first season, you don't care. Season 1 is available to stream now on Apple TV. The second season starts on Wednesday, the 12th of November. The Season 2 trailer is up now on YouTube. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.